So how much is this a sign of what's to come on Wall Street?
That's right. So BlackRock, it cut less than 3% of its nearly 20,000 strong workforce as asset managers like it grapple with surging inflation and rising interest rates that have really eroded the price of assets in the market. Now, this feeds into a broader trend on Wall Street that's causing staffers a lot of uncertainty and anxiety. Banks have gone into a sort of retrenchment mode. We saw that Goldman Sachs, it started cutting staff and is targeting about 3,200 layoffs just this week. Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse and Barclays, they've all either announced that they plan to lay off staff or have laid off staff, all amid these economic uncertainties, which are really casting a bit of a shadow over earnings, which they start reporting on Friday.
Sally, what do we expect when it comes to earnings then?
It's going to be a bit of an unusual and tense one for the banks because on the one hand, they're poised to report this record level of net interest income, which is the biggest source of income for banks. And they're expecting 59 billion in NII. They're expecting a trading haul of about 22 billion. Loan losses are likely to be low and the consumers remain in relatively good health. But on the flip side, they are staring at this possible recession and that positive impact from interest rate rises that they saw the benefit of last year, that's going to start to recede. And of course, we all know that the market for mergers and acquisitions and deals has really slumped, and they're looking at about a 51% drop in business activity there. So there is a lot to be concerned about, and we'll be looking for their outlook when they start reporting.
What about their exposure to the crypto winter?
Yeah, that's another thing we'll be looking closely for. Banks have had relatively little exposure because regulation has kind of handicapped them in really making big strides into things like trading or custody of crypto assets. BNY Mellon does report on Friday too, and that is the biggest of, is one of the biggest banks to have gone into the business of a digital asset platform. So we'll be looking very closely for signs of how that's going.